Hi everyone, it's Thursday, December 1st, 2016 at 6:50 p.m. And I changed my room around, which is why the background is different and there's just like boobs hanging out cuz apparently I'm a 15-year-old boy. Um but I am I I really want to make this video because someone suggested that I make it. They're like, "Did you ever think about making a video about this?" And I was like, "No, I haven't, but I think this is really important uh, information, or rather a story to tell, because I think that this will hopefully inspire some hope in people and make you not feel alone if you're struggling with some shit." So let's jump into it. This video is about how my relationship with my dad changed after I came out. And it changed for the better. So before like you X out and you're like, "Oh my god, like this is just another trans person crying about how their family kicked them out." Like, no, this is actually the complete opposite of that narrative. Um so yeah, I'll just start off and say that I'm extremely lucky that my relationship has changed for the better since coming out, because I know that unfortunately that is not the narrative of a lot of trans people, and maybe even some of you that are watching, that is not the way that things happened. But maybe for people that are wanting to come out, or if things went sour in your family, like maybe this will give you some hope that things can turn around. So a little bit of history. I came out to myself on January 23rd, 2015, when I was 24 years old. Um, and I came out to my dad on February 5th of the same year. So, like a month later. Not even. Jesus, that's like 2 weeks later. Um, and so, when I came out, this was the time that Caitlyn Jenner was coming out. And it was just speculation at that point. Like, nobody actually knew if she was trans. Like, she hadn't picked out her name. Like, everyone was still calling her Bruce. Like, there was just a lot of speculation about like what the fuck was going on with her. Is that better? Maybe. Yeah, we'll say that's better. So yeah, Caitlyn Jenner was coming out, and I came out to my dad because I knew that after coming out to myself that I needed to start therapy, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, I don't feel like a girl. Something's wrong. I need to talk to someone about this. And like I sat him down, and like I don't even really remember the conversation, but basically I was like, "So I really need to see a therapist because I'm like struggling with some stuff." And I remember I was kind of like talking around it. I'm like, "Should I really say why?" And I think I was kind of vague and was just like, I can't even pretend to remember what I said. It must have been somewhere along the lines of, "I don't feel right in my body, and I think that like I might be transgender." And he was like completely like just like blown away, and like didn't, what do you do when your daughter comes to you at 24 years old and is like, "I'm not a girl." Like, that's a lot to handle. So, I'll never forget that he said this. He said something like, "I know that if you're coming to me with this, that this is serious, and that like you truly like are struggling with this." Like, I'll never forget he said that. So although he like didn't like in that moment be like, "You're my son, like I love you," he acknowledged that I was struggling with something and said, "Okay, like go get the help that you need." Um, then it took some time for him to adjust to my name, because I legally changed my name. The pronouns were really hard. I'm not with him. I live in New York and he lives in Wisconsin, so I honestly have no idea what the pronoun situation is, whether or not he still messes them up. I don't think so, but whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I care, but like that's not a concern of mine, because everything else has been so like above and beyond what I could ever ask, that that's like so minuscule. So, and then I do have a sister, but I'm not going to focus on her and that relationship of coming out. So I'm just going to focus on my dad. Um, so basically where our relationship stands now is, even though we're across the country, like I talk to him every single day on the phone. We either Skype, we talk on the phone. Like before I came out as trans, I wasn't close with my dad like at all. Like he worked a lot. He was very busy. He's kind of like a reserved guy, like, just kind of doesn't really like open up about stuff, but is like so caring and loving all at the same time, but just kind of, like whatever. So we were never close. But yeah, after I came out, like he just accepted it. I like it took like I said, it took time, but like at this point, like he fully sees me as his son. I think the greatest example of his support for me is him flying out from Wisconsin to New York to take care of me after having top surgery in August. Um, I would have never thought the moment that I realized I was trans, or even the moment that I realized I was going to have top surgery, that would ever happen, that he would be so supportive of me. Like to have someone fucking like help you empty your drains where you're literally having like fluid and blood coming out of your chest and help you like measure those. Like if that's not love, I don't know what it is. Then like you know what I mean? Like, and it's just really great because I said to him last night when we were talking, like, I was like, did you notice that our relationship has changed? Um, and I realized that, like, I think things maybe changed because I feel like I feel closer to him as a son than I did as a daughter because I feel like we have more things in common now. Like, I just feel like there's this, like, silent understanding that, at least on my end, I feel with him as, like, identifying as male. He sees me as his son. He's apparently introduced me as his son to other people, like when I'm not around, which I can't imagine is fucking easy. Like, kudos to my dad for being able to accept this, because I mean, I know how difficult this is for me, obviously, because I'm dealing with this on a daily basis, but to go from having me as your daughter, who is super feminine and wore makeup and all that shit, and to just all of a sudden, out of the blue, it seemed, be like, no, that's not the truth. That's pretty jarring. Um, so I'm really grateful for his support. And I also realized yesterday in a therapy session that with my borderline personality disorder, I have a fear that like everyone in my life is gonna leave me, that my friendships, that they're all gonna like abandon me, and that like people are just gonna like hate me, and like, people are just gonna leave me. And I realized yesterday, like him and one other person, but specifically him, even more than the other person, I don't think there's a single thing that I could do in this world that would make my dad not be there for me. Um, I don't think there's anything I could do. He supports me not only emotionally, but he has the means and the willingness to support me financially. I feel like I could kill someone and he would still love me. Like that's unconditional love that like I haven't really felt before. And I certainly like didn't feel this type of love and affection for him like when I was younger and like when I identified as female. Like I really look up to him. Like he's the only male figure that I have in my life, and he's everything I aspire to be. Um, he taught me what it means to have a great work ethic and to work hard and to like not complain about shit. And even though I complain about everything, like I have a pretty fucking hard work ethic because of him. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to brag about my dad and talk about how lucky I am, but kind of. That's kind of what this video is to say that I am lucky. But I'll wrap up and say that for those of you that are struggling and think that your parents are not going to be supportive or love you or understand, um that may not be the case. You have no idea. You have no idea how the people in your lives, especially your parents, are going to react to this. Unfortunately, some people that are even watching this video are in situations where their parents are not supportive of them wanting to transition or with them just being trans in general. And for that, I'm sorry. Nobody should have to go through that. Everyone should be loved and supported as a human being, but especially as a fucking trans person, you need love and support. And I think the first people that should come from should be your parents. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's really crazy that so many people are homeless and so many teenagers get kicked out of their home for being who they are. Like, that's wrong. And I just think if you're watching this video and you're debating whether or not you should come out to your family or let alone your friends or really anybody, my advice for you would be do it when you're ready in your own time. Don't fucking rush it and be like, oh my God, I just realized I'm trans, now I have to tell the world. No, take your time. And also, more importantly than taking your time, have some faith in the other person that you're trying to tell. Don't just assume that they're going to hate you and think you're gross and an abomination and all this shit. Give them a chance to come around to the idea. It may not happen overnight. It might take months. It might take years. But eventually there is a chance that the people that honestly matter in your life are going to come around and support you. It took my dad, I don't know, a couple months to really like understand, like I'd say maybe like 6 months or something like that to really understand it. And now I think after being on hormones for a year and 5 months, like he's totally come around to the idea, but it wasn't easy. So I think you need to just have faith that things will be okay and that things might turn out better than you think that they will. Because I never in 1,000 years thought that I would be able to have the relationship that I have with my dad right now. I never thought this was going to be a possibility. And I certainly didn't think that this level of our relationship would be because I realized my true gender identity. Like that blows my mind. That makes no sense to me. So that's my video. I hope this helped someone. But just hang in there, man. Like, just love yourself and surround yourself to the best of your ability with people that love and accept you. But the first person that has to love and respect you is yourself. You can't expect that from other people if you don't have that love for yourself. So that is all I have to say, and I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment below if you have any suggestions for videos, things you want to see me talk about. I'm always open to suggestions and feedback. So thanks and have a good day.